to the family-based podcast. My name's Jake.
I'm Dallas.
And I'm Pat. How's it going?
There we go. All right, so this is episode 29 of the podcast. We are pre-recording a little bit early because I have to go back to Toronto for a couple days. So we're just gonna pre-record and talk about really whatever. We don't know what's happening in baseball right now, so we're just gonna talk and kind of mess around. So Ben, before we were recording, we were talking about your PS5. That thing is huge.
It is, yeah. Do you remember the difference in... So, I caught in the last episode of Stranger Things, and they made a couple jokes to it. And it was funny. They were talking about it's 16-bit, like, graphics or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And my wife, who's, significantly younger than I am, that makes it sound weird. She's younger than I am.
That did make it up.
But she laughed. She laughed, but she didn't, really understand. So then she asked me what it meant, and I was like, well, think about it this way. So the N64, which was the zenith of our video game lives, was 64 bits, and that is significantly shittier than whatever this thing can pop out at any given time. It was cool, man. I was able to download 2 games in 6 minutes yesterday. Just
wow,
full-length games. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Just thinking the load times that used to be for, let's say, PlayStation 2 or whatever, is longer than it takes for you to do most things in that. It's just it's so quick and it's so crazy. Yeah. So shout out Dave though. He's the reason I got it. So good shout out to him.
Dude, it is amazing. When you sent me on TikTok the growth, the development of, and it was fantastic to see.
Mm-hmm.
How The Rock just literally appeared when he was coming down in ball. And the fans were just it was cool. Just looked like
dude, and then now it's it's so different, in everything graphics wise. It's crazy. And we were really at the forefront of all of it. Yeah. I mean, I remember how cool it was when you guys had the original Nintendo and played FIFA in particular, and your dad was really good with Germany. The German team was a power Olympics. It had to have been 92 or 90. It was probably 92 or 96 Olympics, maybe 96, because that would have checked out time wise. But he was super into that, and just the progression of how far everything's come. It's been insane. Insane to see.
Really is. Past 20 years.
Yeah, to go from that to that thing. Yeah, how virtual reality is basically going to take over.
Yeah, I'm not really buying that.
You don't what don't you buy? The virtual reality itself, or that it's going to take over?
The takeover.
Yeah, I don't really think so either.
I think it'll be a niche thing, but not the takeover.
I wonder how many people throughout the history of time, let's just say from the Industrial Revolution, from 1900s to what we just said, agreed with that exact sentiment. Flight, it's a niche thing, but it's probably not going to catch on. Locomotion, that's cool. It's probably not going to really work out. Cars out, those things will be a... So there's always been people who are just dead wrong. Michael Jordan, no, he's never going to amount to nothing. You know what I mean? And you have to be that guy.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I will stay consistent until I'm proven wrong about Bitcoin and NFTs. But I mean,
I didn't buy into that either. So good point.
So, but who knows? I mean, it could turn around or whatever. I don't know. We never know. I mean, that's the one weird thing about new technology or prospects. If you want to relate it to sports, you just never know. You just you place your bet and your confidence, but you're wrong a lot of the time. So
I mean, yeah,
I'd be wrong.
yeah, definitely.
So so I don't believe the metaverse is gonna take over. I don't even know what that possibly would look like. But
I don't know. Probably that movie Ready Player One. I don't know. I've never even watched it, but I assume it's just like video games or something, from what I understood.
I mean, if there's not sports in the metaverse, I don't care.
Fair
I'm
enough.
alright. Yeah. So Dallas, you just started a new job. How's that going?
It's going well. It's cool. Much exactly what I thought it was going to be. So, new expectation.
What name did you choose?
What name did I choose?
Yeah. Your stripper name?
Dalpal.
Your stripper name? What name did you choose?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Dalpal. Mouth hugger.
Mouth hugger. Yeah, I like it.
I don't know the context of that.
Dallas being a stripper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake, when you're older, I'll send you the links. Okay, when you're older.
I prefer not to.
When you're my age,
yeah,
I have 18 and over my OnlyFans. Sorry, mostly feet pics and me pooping.
Feet pics and meat pics, baby.
Feet and meat, classic.
Meat.
It's the combo.
And that sounds like Moo and Oink, the old grocery store that used to be down the street from home. Moo and Oink, the grocery store that was right by HF. Moo and Oink and Feet and Meat.
Yeah.
They just sell pigs and every other kind of meat.
Yeah, that store would bring into a feet and meat store.
Yeah.
Right now.
Is it feet meat? Whose meat is it? You're not specifying the feet or the meat. You know, is it human feet? Is it human meat? Yeah.
Oh my god. Human.
You have to sign an NDA before you go in there. You can't talk about it.
That's right. Strict.
Today's episode brought to you by Feet and Meat.
You're going to team at Isaac.
With the big sign in the on Ormsby's wall, center field wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feet and Meat.
Perfect.
Are we gonna watch what?
Oh no. Oh, Stanley Cup tomorrow.
What are you talking about?
No.
Both of you.
Am I gonna watch hockey?
Yes, sir. And watch hockey.
Look, I appreciate. Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
The Cubs won Friday night. They won on nationally broadcast games, so I mean a shutout too. So I'll watch the Cubs for now.
Hendricks played well. Hendricks pitched well. All that good stuff.
Yeah, hockey is just one of those sports I don't care for.
Yeah, I don't like. So the thing that bugged me for the longest time is I was a hockey fan, Blackhawks fan, when they were terrible, right? When they were really bad. Games were blacked out. You couldn't even see them, right? So I stopped when they got good because I came bitter towards people like Viviana, who just liked the Blackhawks because Jonathan Toews was cute, right? So then I became super jaded toward it. And I started to push back pretty hard. So I would go at Wade. I would because he's a big hockey guy. So I would call them figure skaters, with sticks. Yeah, figure skaters with sticks and all this kind of shit, just to kind of poke some people and stoke some animosity and stuff. But playoff hockey is really fun to watch. It's the high pace, fast, chaotic energy that you get over a 7-game series or whatever it is that you get in playoff basketball, playoff baseball. But it's the thing that the regular season doesn't really provide. In a great abundance is super, super exciting games that mean as much. So I think that's why playoff hockey is easily one of the most fun things to watch like in a postseason. That like March Madness is kind of the same kind of concept because that's just one and done. But yes, but I will not be going out of my way to watch hockey. No.
Right. Do you guys prefer one and done, single elimination, like March Madness, or do you guys like the series?
That's a great question.
Oh, I mean, personally, I think it would have to be sport by sport. Like baseball, I feel like I would go for a shorter amount of games per series, but if there was 1
3-3-5?
game, yeah, like 3-5 is plenty of games. I would feel like, but 1 game is just too unpredictable. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, the worst team could easily win the World Series if they just win
4 straight games.
a couple games.
Whatever.
Yeah, so
Do you think the Cubs series? It was single elimination. Y'all think the Cubs could do it?
Have the Cubs won 4 out of
In a
7
row?
games at any point this year? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe once.
Okay. Well, that's all it takes, baby. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a different podcast where Pete Alonso was on it, right? And he was talking pretty openly and pretty candidly because it's like a comedian's podcast, so it's a little bit loose. But you know, they're hanging out in the dugout while they were doing
talking about Chrissy D?
Yeah, did you watch it?
No, not yet.
All right. Well, okay. So they talk real quick about how Pete Alonso would change baseball, and he says he would get rid of extra innings, and you send forward. Each team has 1 champion, so you send forward one guy. You do 5 pitches for a home run derby. Whoever has the most home runs after 5 pitches, that team wins, and that's it. You save time, you save money, you save energy, you save all that stuff. You don't have to go into extra innings. And then he said some crazy shit about double headers where they would like, if you win the first game, you have to play a ping pong game, and then if you win the ping pong game, you win the double header, some shit like that. But
what?
I did kind of like the idea of just saying home run hitters at the end of extra. It's like a shootout in
that sounds fun.
hockey,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and it would be fun. You send one, you have one big fat guy in your roster who just clobbers balls. And you're like, here, you have 5 swings, do this, and that's it. And then if you tie, you just do an extra round of 3 or something like that. But because either way, no matter how you do it, it's going to be significantly shorter time-wise than another extra inning game would be. And then the only other thing he suggested in that was if they did, if somebody hit him and he was batting, boom, he could have the option to charge the mound. The pitcher could have the option of fighting him back or taking a knee and kneeling in to the batter being superior. Yeah, like you kneel to him and you say, I don't want to get beat up. And then you look like a coward for throwing at the guy and then also pitching out if you don't want to fight him back.
Yeah, no.
I'm down for it. I think they should do a 3-round bout if anybody wants to get crazy. Let's let them go crazy. Fuck it.
To go on the extra inning thing, I think it'd be fun if it like rotated players. So like every game there was a like you had to go around the diamond. So like it was game 1 of the series. So there would be pretty much like an 8-game rotation. So you're not having one guy do it every time. You may have like your worst hitter up there
against their hitters, depending on.
Yeah, you never know. So I mean, make it a little bit like more interesting. But yeah, I mean that'd be fun.
Yeah. How many extra inning games do you think teams go to on average? Like, what do you think that number is? Like, how many times through the lineup would you get?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But either way, I love the idea. I thought it was really funny. And, if baseball wanted to make itself kind of interesting, different, kind of maybe get new eyes on it, if that was their intention, you kind of have to do a little wackier stuff sometimes to get people interested,
It
if that's what baseball wants, and it doesn't seem like they care that much.
T-ball style, wouldn't they?
No, they would do L screen. So they would just have, like you would in the home run derby, just have a guy, your pitching coach, come out there, just chuck 5 balls.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then you Sammy Sosa swing and miss.
I'd be down.
That should be another thing. If you swing and miss at any point, automatic you lose. Automatic 0.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Sammy, dude, remember that? Wasn't it in Houston?
No, yeah, that or Milwaukee.
Oh, that one sucked, dude, yeah.
Oh no.
That Milwaukee one was the one where they went into extras, and that started that whole weird thing that they were doing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Baseball extra innings, you just can't figure out. Oh, they can't decide on something. So
that's why they gotta ask us. They gotta ask the people.
I mean, if they cared what the fans had to say, it'd be different.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, oh man. But since Dallas and I talked about it, and even Ben, you and I talked about it. So on episode 27, Ben and I, and then episode 28, Dallas and I talked about the Cubs' future. So let's do a little prediction on that. Do we see the Cubs win another one in 3 years? Option B, 5 years, or C, they never win again in our lifetime.
I love how it's 5 years or death. Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
it's 3, 5, or never again for eternity.
I mean, pretty much.
And the way that the Earth is going right now, who knows that it's even going to be around in 5 years? So we might all be proven wrong. Okay, so based on those numbers, I have to say 5, just because I don't want to not see them again before I die. But realistically, it's probably some year after 5, but before my eventual demise.
Death.
So
yeah.
It's not. We'll ever see it again.
Yeah, if I have to pick one of those 3, I'm gonna say they probably won't.
What if it was like within 5 years, within 10 years, or within 50 years? What are you taking? 5, 10, or 50? 50 seems right.
Yeah.
Seems right.
Yo, that's fucking sad though.
Yeah, dude.
Because like you said the other day with I guess what Rizzo commented on, it's like they shouldn't be acting like the Pirates or the Reds. You're Chicago Cubs. You've been a franchise in baseball for 100+ gosh darn years, and you still want to act like this goddamn minor league club. I said gosh darn, and then I just said yeah. So whatever. But you know what I'm saying? It's like you want to act like a minor league franchise when you have the money, you have the city, you have the ability, you have anything you want. Bruce is getting fired up out there. You have anything you want to bring in free agents and make this a winning club, and you don't want to do it. And that is the part that drives fans the most crazy. Because I don't care if we're losing, but we're at least trying. If you're putting out a watchable product, you're putting out a team. Dude, like they were having Soriano back at the stadium the other day. The Cubs didn't win dick with him. They didn't win dick, but they were at least trying. They were at least putting out people who are, at that time he was phenomenal. He just came off that monster season with the Nationals. You know what I mean? But that was still at least enjoyable. It was watchable. It was passable baseball instead of the guys that they're trotting out there now. Like, I want to see them try, spend the money and fail instead of not spending money and fail. But also, to the same point, Jake, like we talked about the other day, if that's not what they're going to end up doing, then you play the prospects and you'll get them the time. And it just looks like they are very firm in that camp that they're just going to say, fuck it, we'll let mediocre players take the money and get cut 70 games into the season like Villar for no reason, and then still not bring up the bats and not let the kids play. So it's just a mess.
I
I
do
like your
have
shirt.
what shirt?
Oh, Benny's little tadpole.
Dude, this is a ghost, bro. It's a ghost with a hat.
Like
Yeah, bro.
hat and a milkshake. Oh,
Yeah, look, I got a bunch down the arms too.
Dude, you just spook.
It's my buddy Jeff Ramsey. He was at my wedding. I thought there was more on this side. There's not. He was at my wedding. He had the bright red hair. Him and his girlfriend Allie were there. But this is his band. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they're great. Shout out Jeff's band. Go ahead, Jake.
Jumping ship.
I was just thinking. A genuine question is, if you're a fan of a sports team, to me, so I guess there's two questions, but I'll stick with one. Can you see yourself like at one time, not rooting for the Cubs or not rooting for your favorite sports team? Like, can you see a time when you'd be like, I'm done? Is that something you guys see?
Yeah, if they cross some sort of geopolitical line that I didn't agree with, like let's say the Bears had brought in Deshaun Watson, something like that, that would be hard to be a fan of the Bears. I don't like winning football games more than I like, respecting people and treating people kindly and fair, and not having 24 sexual misconduct allegations against you.
Right.
Jeez.
And then get the highest contract in football completely guaranteed, and then have it so you don't lose any money if you get suspended in your first year, like you're gonna, and you kind of rig the system and all that kind of stuff. Like, I would feel so ugly about that. I wouldn't be able to support that kind of team, that kind of player. But beyond that, dude, it would be hard. Like, I could suffer through losing seasons if we're going to talk about like on the field shit. I mean, we've been a part of losing seasons more than winning seasons in this city. I mean, we had the Bulls in the '90s, which was the zenith. That was about as best as you can get, right? 6 and 8 years. The Cubs were terrible at the time. White Sox were terrible at the time. Blackhawks were terrible at the time. Okay, and then they just swapped, and then like White Sox would be good in 2005, and then nobody's good again, and then the Hawks are good in the early 2010s, and then the Cubs in 16, and now the Bears. Who knows what's going to happen with any of them? Bears haven't won since '85. We're still holding on to 85, 86 Bears, But like, it's crazy that that part is easy for me to deal with losing because it's always been around. But it would have to be something like like if the Ricketts came out and were just like, we support Putin 100%, like that's our homie or something like that. I'd be like, all right, maybe got to reassess that. But yeah, it would have to be like a big real reason. But losing something like that, no, I don't care about that.
Dale, what about you?
No, I think you made a good point that I didn't even consider. Be something like that, like bringing moral people, or putting forth proceeds to something that I, or just deem gas, like just have to. My question then is, so Rick, like he's like our prize in the motherland. Like, so do you go back to being a Cubs fan, relinquish his control, or did you just stay after that? Because it's a stain, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs would have to do some major rebranding. They would have to decide if they're going to stick with being the Cubs, who bad, or if the 100+ years of baseball before, and let's just say we don't believe Tom Ricketts is in bed with the Russians by any means or anything like that. But
disclaimer out there,
yeah. But I think I think I would just have, because my interest has always been in baseball as a whole more than one particular team.
Right.
So I think I would just kind of watch baseball as a fan of all baseball instead of just narrowing
Cool.
down on one particular team at that point.
The one thing I would say is a difference is because I have lived in multiple places with teams and whatnot. I would say if I lived like somewhere else and I was a Cubs fan and that happened, I would just transfer teams. But if I still lived in the city, I'd be like, I just won't be a fan until either they, like come back and apologize for everything, or they just rebrand everything. But I'll still be a like baseball fan or something, or like soccer fan or whatever sport it might be.
Would you root for the White Sox?
Ugh.
That's a good one.
It's a pass. It's for me, dog. I'd
You
be
want me
a
to go get
Cardinals
my
fan
other
first.
hat? You want me to go get my other hat? It's right there. I can get my Cardinals hat too. They're both in that closet.
I'd be a Cardinals
All right, now
You do a what?
fan first.
Oh, I thought you said you'd go to Denver. So what the hell does that have to do with anything? We didn't even talk about Denver. Yeah, I'd go to Denver. Yeah, me too, man. I mean, yeah, yeah. You.
You.
I would not. I would not be either White Sox fan or Cardinals fans. And again, it's not majority reason because of the team. It's because our experience with the fans. I lived in Missouri. I know Cardinals fans, and I don't want to be a part of that group. Also, White Sox. All right. Um. Yeah. So I'd say I'd just be a baseball fan.
Yeah,
Stick with that.
I think that would be the easiest transition, so you don't have to, you know, I guess care that much about a particular team that you don't really care that much about. You don't have to invest so much interest and brain power into something. You can kind of just watch it from afar. I think that uh, it's weird. It's one of those things that like it would make a lot of sense if you're not a sports fan to be a sports fan in that way. If we weren't already conditioned to be like fanatical fans, where it's just like you will watch sports and that's it, and that's who you are,
Yeah.
in a sense. But um, who knows? Who knows? Go Cubs.
You know, you did mention a transition, and I do want to transition right now to play a game. Just right before we leave, I want to play a game. This game is based on the Jimmy Fallon True Confessions. Now, what we'll do is I will go first, and as I just explained to them, I'll share whichever number they choose. If it's true or if it's false, they'll have a minute to ask me questions, and then they'll try to guess if it's true or false from me answering. So I'll go first. So what number do you guys want me to pick?
This is a tough one, Dal. Are you more of a favorite odds or evens number kind of guy? 16, right? That's
Like,
your number.
yeah, but I like odd.
Okay, good. I was going to say odds as well. So let's go one, Jake.
All right. So my number one is I once got separated from a group of friends because a police officer saw my full name on my driver's license.
All right. So let me ask you this:
All
what
right,
is
go
so
ahead.
weird
Yeah,
about your first name that he would
not
stop you?
not first name, my full name.
Okay. So it was a
Where were you?
racist cop. Got it. Yeah. Where were
Yeah,
you?
go on there. I was in Springfield, Missouri.
That
Yeah, I
checks
believe it
out.
already.
Seems pretty racist there.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean most Missouri, but yeah.
Yeah, true. How long ago was this? When was this?
This must have been 2010. 9 or 10.
Okay. All right, so that would have been you would have been right around 21.
Okay. Ask me one more question. This is about to
Yeah,
run out.
go.
So, we were a friend of mine, Thomas. We were at his high school debate tournament. He went back to his old high school to be a debate judge.
All right, a couple things. That sounds lame as shit. But
Yeah.
but what do you think, Dal? How are you feeling? I need your Sherlock skills.
I think I'm still getting used to this. But if this is real, sounds shit.
You think it sounded true? I also think it sounded true. Jake, we're going with true.
It is true.
Boom.
I like how no, but so he saw me. I was in the high school. I was actually looking for a place to study, but then he asked me for my license. Saw my name and goes, Gonzalez, huh? And he took me and separated me from my friends and put me in a separate part of the school in like a locked area. And like said, like he'll come back at some point to like let me out.
What a nice guy.
Sounds like an
You tell
illegal,
him thank
unlawful detention.
I mean, yes, but that's not like.
That's almost exactly what it sounds like.
I mean,
what it is. That's kidnapping.
Yeah. Wow.
I will say this: you guys did not question a possibly racist cop, but you questioned the location, which I find.
That's all
great.
you need to know.
Yeah. No, because that
Sure.
that checks out. Like I said, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that works. Well,
You had
sweet
said
though.
Homewood,
Got it 1-for-1.
Nice.
I mean, I had in Homewood. I was asked for my visa.
I'm assuming you mean your like passport and not your Visa card. Your bank card.
Like a visa into the U.S. Yes, by cop.
Nice.
So they're everywhere.
Baby.
All right, so why don't we go with Ben? Why don't you go next? So what do you think? 1 or 2?
1.
All right, Ben. We're going with 1.
1. Okay.
Yeah.
I once punched through my back window because. Go ahead. Sorry, Dallas had a question.
You don't have to. It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
All
right. Ready, please. Punch through.
So mine is I once punched through my back window because Dan locked me out.
That's
true.
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
I think I remember.
We don't need questions.
It was
true.
I don't need the full minute.
My lie was gonna be. Let's see if you would have gotten this one. I've had to bail Dave out of jail for public intoxication.
False.
Oh, that's harder.
That one should have been the one. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I couldn't guess which one you guys were gonna guess. But yes, yeah. So Dan was hanging out. It had to have been during the summer. He was with Jeremy Watson, his friend Jeremy Watson at the time, and they locked me out. And I ran around to the back door, and they had just closed the door right in front of my face and locked it, and were taunting me through the window. And so I'm banging on it. And let me see. Yeah, it's my right hand here because the scar is still on my finger. But I punched through it with my pinky, and I still have the scar here, right there, on the tip of my finger from that incident. Yeah. So That was true. Good job, guys. You remember. You remember.
Oh, we're like Ben punching through a door. Yeah.
Also, that check. Yeah, again, that check down.
All right. So no questions needed for that one. All right. So Ben, go ahead,
Yeah.
Dale.
Let's see. Yeah. What are you saying?
How about why don't we go with number 2 for Dallas because we've gone with number 1 so far. So Dallas, read us your number 2.
Okay, so if I didn't do this right, I can come up with a story. But what I wrote down says I have owned / been in possession of 11 cars.
Oh, that's perfect. I think we could work with that, right?
Yeah, we can go with that. That's fine. Let's ask some questions. All right. So, how do you know it's 11?
Because I counted them all out and
When?
wrote them down just now, like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, seems a little suspect. Why you would just have a list
Yeah.
of cars with you without it being necessary? Because Jake just came up with this game 9 minutes ago, so that's interesting.
Very curious. Very curious.
Let's see. What color are they? Name colors.
I've had blue and silver, maroon, gold. I think those are all. Oh, and black.
So you had at least that's okay. Now we're just coming up with more colors. It's 4. Now we're up to 6. Seems a little suspect.
Red, orange, yellow, green.
All right, Jake. What do we think? So, Jake, we can piece this together. We can piece together a couple cars, right, from just knowing him. All right. So we have the blue Civic. So that one.
I know Dallas had a lot of cars and vehicles. I don't know if it's 11.
So we're counting his bike in here, though. He had a motor chopper. That's got to count, right? Are we counting the motor chopper?
I mean, he said cars.
I'm still going true. You can go false. I'm going to go true.
I'm gonna say false because I think it's. I just don't think it's 11.
It's probably more.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So now, which one is it?
Do you think it's then 11?
For your sake, I want to say that. For your sake, I want to say less, but I think it may be more.
All right. Here's the. Is that it's false. I have had 13 cars and 2.
13 cars. Too
gosh, bro! Oh my gosh!
Let's see, it all started. That was the first. That's then more tempo, and now it gets out of. I had a Mustang. I had a Jeep. I had a Jeep Cherokee. I had a Ram. Now I had a BMW. I had the Impala. I had a different Civic, and I had a Honda, and then 2 Harleys. So 2, if you want to count the motorcycles. So
that's a lot.
And I also move around.
Yeah.
You know how many cars I've ever had?
Really?
We were joint custody.
Sure. No, we didn't. That was yours. Get out of here.
Joint custody.
I never. I mean, sure, my wife had a car, but I mean, how many cars have I ever owned? None. But none. 13's quite a bit.
That's impressive in itself.
Well, Jake, gas is like $100,000 a gallon, so be lucky.
Yeah, true.
You just need to use your arm power. You know what's wild? I was thinking about this last night as I was falling asleep. If I had had a conversation with Thomas Jefferson, and I would try to just explain to him, like gun laws. No, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. I would tell him how backwards gun laws were, and be like, and I would try to explain it to him, but he doesn't even understand the concept of a flashlight, bro. Or like
Right.
yeah, you have horsepower, like single horsepower, one horse pulls your goddamn cart. You know, the shittiest car I have has like at least 100. You know, I know nothing about cars, but I know it's at least more than one. You know, so like he wouldn't even understand anything that I know. And how are we still going to use laws and shit that existed
So
200 plus years ago and follow that to the doctrine because they don't
I,
understand dick.
I think your point is that you're smarter than him.
I think I am, and I own significantly less slaves, and I've had non-consensual sex with 0 people, so I beat him in 2 at the very least.
You're too.
And those might be 2 important things. I would say.
Those are important.
Some people might not care. They might think of me as a loser.
They might be like, no plays and no rates.
On this, we are gonna wrap up the episode. Again, we have no idea what's happening in baseball right now because hopefully it's fun and hopefully Cubs aren't doing as bad. But we just talk about the players. So
Yeah. You know, things happen. You know, baseball's history is not written without the unfortunate history of the treatment of African Americans. So you know, it's all intertwined.
yeah, of course.
And all that matters is
It
that
makes sense.
America is intertwined with racism, whether they want to believe it or not. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, so we'll wrap up episode 29 of the In Space podcast. Again, my name is Joe.
And I'm Ben. My 29 player is Johnson.
Thank you.
I did not think of one, so I'm sorry.
Jake says Adrian Belcher. Dallas says Eric Davis.
That's what I think.
You guys texted me before him.
Yeah, that's it. So we'll see you guys next week on the podcast. If you've watched all the way to the end, subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram or TikTok. We definitely post on a frequent basis, so check us out there. So we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next Wednesday on the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.